Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
What's going on, everybody? How are you doing this Sunday evening? Hope you are all well. Hope you're having a good weekend. We are here with our weekly wrestling wrap-up show, and we are here on Sunday, which looks to be like it's going to be the permanent place it's going to reside, at least until we have pay-per-views, which I'm sure will happen. But they're talking about other wrestling promotions and stuff like that, talking about maybe switching to Saturday, so we'll see. Maybe this will be more of a permanent thing than we thought. Maybe they'll switch around things and go to Saturdays at some of these pay-per-view shows. So anyway, as always, Jeff, it's been a crazy week in wrestling. Once again, we say it all the time when we have the show, and unfortunately, it's been a little maybe too crazy this week.
Yeah, a little too crazy for this week for my liking. So,
yeah.
But I know we're going to talk about it. So, you know.
Oh, yes, we are. And apparently, I think I sent this out. I texted it to Jeff earlier, too. Apparently, when I have my mustache and beard, I look like Matt Rule of the Carolina Panthers. I had no idea. So one of my former friends sends me a text when I got home, and he sends me a message, and he's like, Joe, starts talking to me about my other job. I'm like, what is he talking about? And then he sends me pictures, and I'm like, dear God, I kind of look like that dude. I'm like, okay. I wouldn't mind being a coach of the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, I may have to send him a message or something and say, I don't know, maybe it's a brother from another mother somewhere along the line. He even looks around my age. He's got the gray in the hair and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. A little scary. All right. So let's get down to some business first. We'll welcome everybody in, and we'll talk about what we got coming up quickly, and then we'll get into it. Well, first of all, and I don't think she's here yet, but we have to give our heartfelt congratulations to Jessie Calynn, our own Jessie Calynn, and of course her husband, on the announcement of that they are having a baby. So that's amazing. Yeah, it's really great stuff. And of course, when somebody that we know and is friends with us and friends of the show and is part of the show, it's even that much better. So yeah, it's great stuff. We just found out the other day. So congratulations to Jessie and her husband, and of course, we will hopefully have her on a little later tonight, and we could say it all over again. I know she doesn't get on right at the start of the show, but always great to hear news like that, and we wish them nothing but the best and happiness, and of course all of that as well. So great stuff. Awesome. All right, let me welcome some people in. Obviously, our next show is we're doing Abby's tomorrow, Jeff.
As far as I know.
Okay, so Abby's tomorrow. We're back at 6, right?
Right.
Okay, so Abby's Windows tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you join Jeff and Jody. Always news going on with Bray Wyatt. There's been tweets. There's been all kinds of different stuff. So there's always some things to talk about. Stuff from Kyle that he's been putting out there. A lot of stuff that I'm sure that they'll have to go over tomorrow. So make sure you join them for that. Let me welcome some people in, and we will get started with the news. Derek Fleming, what's up, Derek? How are you? Dana is here. What's up, Dana? Mr. Majestic 13, what's going on with you? Triple T. Hey, Jen, how are you tonight? Big Dan. Joe versus Whit McMahon tonight on Airing of Grievances. Conrad is here. Graham Caldwell is here. What's up, Graham? How are you? The Coog. What's up, Coog? How are you? Trex. What's up, Trex? Let's see, Dana, if we don't turn around Raw, AEW will pass the rating soon. Alicia P. What's up, Alicia? How are you? Joe Rule. Yeah. Like Joe Rule. I'm Joe Rule now. That's actually pretty funny. That was clever. Brandon Lewis. James Chadwick. What's up, James? James must have liked the announcement that Caleb with a K has to wrestle someone in particular this week. Oh boy. That may be James' best ever Impact Wrestling show.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. Jason Stoffer. Hey, Jason, how are you? The Penn State wants Matt Rule. Whoa, well, he'd be even closer to me then. I might be able to drive down there. We might be able to meet face to face. And if that happens, maybe the universe will just destroy itself. Like maybe there'll be some kind of paradox or something like that that will just, everything will just blow up. Chris Smith. Hey, everyone. Good vibes. Hey, Chris, how are you? Trent Hatchett. Let's go Impact. Brandon Lewis. Sean Rousset. Hey, Sean. Oh, there's Jesse Allen. Hello, Jesse. Jesse, we just shouted out our congratulations, of course, to you and your husband. So I'm glad you were here to hear it. Wasn't sure if you'd be around for the start of the show. I know sometimes you have work and stuff like that, so I didn't want to assume that. But of course, all of our congratulations and best wishes to you and your husband on your impending family. That's awesome news, amazing news. It makes me go harken back to. I'm sure Jeff, it does you too. Probably harken back to the days when you found out that your wife was pregnant. And oh my goodness, like the feeling of that is like. It's like an unbelievable feeling that you're going to be a dad, and then as you're going and getting closer, because the nerves kind of start to set it in, and you're like, oh my god. Yeah, it's really great stuff. But yeah, that's awesome, Jesse. Great news. London Askew Hit Row member says hi to you too. The Coog says I think Caleb with a K will do a lot better than Caleb with a C did last night. Tazzy, what's up, Tazzy? How are you? It's an insider's party, baby. So went to my godson's T-ball game. I'm now at his house, and he won't let me go home until he goes to sleep. So you got to deal with me in the chat. That's much more important. You're very welcome, Jesse. We all wish you the very, very best. Okay, let's get started. I will tell you all, my Cowboys got shellacked today, so that put me in kind of a pissy mood. Work sucked, so I'm I'm raring to go when we get to that point in the show. So I'm not gonna. I thought I might do a La Greca type thing, but I'm not going to do that because I do have family that will be back home. So I'm not going to go all screaming and yelling on you. If I was in like a basement or like a room where I could do that was soundproof, I would. But I don't want the neighbors to hear me and come over thinking that something's going on that's not. So I'm not going to get all that rowdy. But I've got some things to say. All right. So let's get started, shall we, Jeff? We've got the news up first. So let's get to some breaking news, shall we? All right. So there you can see the menu for this evening. And we will start with the news. Of course, Jeff. Oh, boy. What a way to start. Yay. Oh, man. I like the Funko Pops. Is that us?
Yes, it is.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Wow, I love that. That's so cool. Oh, my God. We're Funko Pops. That's awesome. Oh, well, that was a fun little thing to see next to the bulletin of yeah. So we all know about what happened. I will talk in length about what happened in the grievances section of the show. Suffice it to say, I was shocked. I kind of saw the little blurb on the dirt sheet saying that there might be some cuts, but they were all saying it was supposed to be minor, not really anything big. So I was kind of thinking that was what it was going to be, and that's kind of what I was expecting. I don't know. I was even maybe expecting some corporate things, maybe, which did happen too. But I was not expecting to see what I saw. Took me very much by surprise and did not put me in a happy mood after it happened. And I'll explain all of that when we go forward. But Jeff, this is never easy to talk about. And, one of the things I'll bring up later is you kind of have to take a step back a bit. And you kind of have to look at things from their perspective a little bit, because it's very easy to say, especially when you're a fan of something. Whether it be movies, actors, athletes, any of that kind of stuff. But it's very easy to think, well, they'll get by. They'll survive. They're in the spotlight. You kind of get all these impressions in your head and you think that they'll be just fine. But that's not always the case. So, but yeah, shocked, unhappy, angry. And I'll get to all of it later. But Jeff, what did you think of this?
I was shocked, honestly was. And, we figured out early on in the day that there were going to be some more releases. And then, a couple of the early ones I saw, they were people that worked in production or, something else. So I was like, okay, well, this won't be that bad. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, we've got Scarlett, then Karrion Kross, then Nia Jax, Keith Lee. And I mean, honestly, when I saw Keith Lee's name and Mia Yim, that's the point where I just got really, really done. I was just at the point where I was like, you know what, I just need to take a break. Because I don't want to get to a point where I'm indifferent, and that's the worst thing that you can be when you're a fan of something, is to become indifferent, and that's the point that I was kind of getting to. So I said this Thursday, I'm not completely done. I said that I'm not, because I'll be honest with you, WWE is always going to hold a special place in my heart. So I'm not completely done, but I will say that I am taking a brief week, maybe 2-week hiatus, and then getting back into it.
Yeah. And I've already started mine. I did not watch SmackDown. Which was the first time in quite a bit that I didn't, and I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it. See, and again, I don't want to get into this a lot because it's going to happen later on. But for me, when I'm a fan of something, And I compare this to football and the Cowboys with me. And they continually disappoint me week after week after week after week after week. And it just seems like a pattern that is never changing. Then it starts to make me angry. And I found myself getting angry quite a bit with them sometimes. And so I got to the point where I just couldn't care like I did before. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't give what I could give because it was making me angry. And that to me is not the kind of entertainment that you want. If you're getting entertainment from something and it is creating like harboring bad feelings or making you upset or angry, yeah, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And that's why to this day, I'll watch the Cowboys games. But they don't do what they did for me when I was, 10 years ago, when I was on the edge of my seat and I was, if they lost, I'd be in a bad mood. And I was, so it'll never be the same. And I stepped away and, I'm going to do the same here because to me, that's the only way as a fan that sometimes you could strike back and express your displeasure. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll get into this a lot more later. I don't want to take up any more time on it because we'll definitely get back into this going forward. So, all right. Let me see if there's people. I've not watched WWE since you guys stopped. And again, I'll say this to you guys too, Tony, and I'll mention this later. Well, we'll go into it later. Hold that thought. I'll go into it in the grievances section about that too. Hope Wyatt debuts at Full Gear. Is Vince getting ready to sell things? Why keep Goldberg and rid of Braun, Keith Lee, and Karrion Kross? I know that. Look, there's a lot of people confused. Mark had a question. Hope everything's going well. When you get around to it, I have a question about one of the wrestlers being released. That would be Nia Jax. I know generally when WWE releases a wrestler, they say budget cuts. When it comes to Nia, could it have been personal? From what I've seen on the shows, I think it could have been. There's a lot more detail with the Nia thing. Nia talked about it herself, and I'll talk about that later too. So I can't speculate that anything is personal, but I can tell you what she said if you haven't read it already. So rumors are there's going to be more. Yeah, I read that too. And it sucks, but I already have some names that I'm thinking that are probably going to be there. It's just one on top of another, one on top of another. Okay. All right. Let's move on, Jeff, and we'll get back to that later on.
All right. So it looks like we were missing some names from Impact's roster. Taylor Wilde, No Way, not to be confused with No Way Jose, and Petey Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Petey, we heard prior that he was going to be on a part of SmackDown and getting a tryout as a producer. So obviously that's a career upward move for him. Taylor, it's been a weird thing with her because she was on for a good steady amount of time and then she was gone for a good while and we really didn't hear about anything why. In fact, there are a lot of people that come to our Impact stream joked about her, because there was at one point where someone was feuding with her in the back and people were saying, did she get locked in that closet in the back? But yeah, like we really don't know what happened with Taylor. And the thing that triggered all this is because they went missing from the website. So a lot of times people notice, when names are gone from the website, that things may have happened or things may be gone. So again, this is more speculation than anything other than the Petey Williams thing, which was definitely, that definitely was out there in the news. But we don't know. We just don't know. No Way may have not signed a long contract with them. And may have just signed on for a couple appearances here and there. Some of them, yeah, James Chadwick said visa issues, and that could be. We've already heard that about Bronson Reed. When people are leaving the country now, especially during another hit of COVID and stuff like that, it would make sense that it might be hard for them to get back with all the things going on and stuff like that. So, but listen, at least we we don't know if they're gone for good. We don't know if we may see them come back again. But yeah, they went missing from the site and things like that. So let's hope that we'll see them again. And it's just an issue like that, Jeff.
Yeah. I hope that we see him again. I want to read this comment here from Weed Whacking Willie. I think Ember and Bray are the same situation. Vince just didn't like them, and nothing they could do would change his opinion. So I think that's a fair point. I do think that's a fair point. I think that was probably the case with Karrion too, is that maybe Vince, I don't know if it was that Vince didn't like him, but he definitely didn't know what the heck to do with him. That's for sure. So thank you for the very kind donation.
All right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the donation. We really, really appreciate that. I think Ember and Bray are in the same situation. Yeah. And again, we'll cover that too, because there's more than one similarity between all of these two. So yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Hunter says, what are your thoughts on the Colby Covington saying that AEW is a second-rate promotion company? I don't have any thoughts. I didn't see that. I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I haven't been on Twitter as much over the weekend because of work and stuff like that. So I did not see that comment, Hunter. I did not. All I know is I watched I watched Rampage on Friday, and I enjoyed it. I thought the Punk and the Punk promotion with Eddie Kingston was fantastic. I'm excited for Impact. They should get some of these releases. Yeah, that's one thing that is a positive to think about. Sure. Okay, what do we got next, Chef?
Well, you just brought it up a little bit, so let's go here. We got a war of words between Punk and Eddie Kingston.
I love promos when they are heartfelt and you could kind of tell. And this is one thing. And look, I loved Eddie Kingston since we used to watch him on NWA when he was there. And I know that wasn't the first thing he's ever done. He's been in indies and things like that. So I know he's been around before that. But I loved Eddie when he was there. Yeah, a lot of times he'd go over to where they had the announcers booth, and he would take over the booth for a little while and comment. I like this dude, and the reason I like him is because of, to me, whether or not he means to do it, he always comes off as speaking from the heart. And whether or not it's a promotion that he's coming up with, he's got a very good gift for making things seem like it's really coming from deep down inside of him. And this was really good. And if it was a shoot, all the better, because I think this is something that really needs to be explored a little bit. This is something that other companies can learn from and do. If there's real animosity between two guys that, maybe you had some past dealings with them and things like that, wherever it may be, in another promotion or whatever, you should be allowed to visit that. And again, this is the kind of thing that this kind of stuff writes itself. You don't really almost need creative to do this. And this is really old school too, Jeff, because this goes back to like Dusty Rhodes and oh my gosh, the name escapes me. Who's the guy who used to call himself the Prince of Darkness that Dusty was always fighting with? Yeah, I know. Shout it out in the chat. Let us know. Oh my God. I forget. I'm just totally drawing a blank. But it goes back to things like that, like old school wrestling when guys could not stand each other. And it was reality. Like they couldn't. Kevin Sullivan, thank you, Big Dan. They couldn't. They hated one another. They were always fighting each other, and they couldn't stand each other. And there was no bones about that. So a lot of what they did was real because this was the real feelings that they had. And I think it's cool to see this again. It brings back memories of old school stuff, and I think it's great. For them to show that kind of emotion, because this kind of a promo, Jeff, really makes you interested in watching a match.
Yeah, I mean, these two on a microphone are already great, and then when you put that together, it did. I mean, it did harken back to the old days of guys cutting promos, not scripted. Just kind of working a shoot essentially. Um, I mean, it's great, and I mean Eddie Kingston has always been great. I'm happy that people are finally able to see him now more so than ever before. I was happy when he got signed by AEW, but yeah, I mean, it gets you invested, and that's what you want in a storyline. You want to be invested, and
Yep.
I'm invested.
Yeah. Yeah, and like we said, it makes you want to check out the pay-per-view, and that's really what they should do. This is this is what we often say. We've been saying it a lot lately about the about having pay-per-views less often, more sporadic, because the build-up then can be really, really special, and it can go for a good while. It's not just a couple of weeks or a month, or where there's really no, you're really not seeing any logic to it or not. And to me, again, it's a little more old school, but I think that they should go back to that. I don't think we need pay-per-views every month. And that builds up your big ones even more. And I just think it's a good idea. Yeah, this was amazing. It's being talked about in the wrestling community as one of the best promos of the year by a lot of people, and it deserves it. It deserves it. It was riveting TV. And it was just two guys in the ring. You really didn't know whether or not they're going to explode on one another at some point. But it was really good. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that apparently it was Punk's fault that WWE did sign Eddie. Don't know if it's true. I hope Eddie Punk's out Punk. I want to see that. Eddie and Punk sold their match in full gear in a 15 to 20-minute segment. Just awesome. Hope the match between Eddie and CM Punk is lights out unsanctioned match, or Eddie and CM Punk sign a hold harmless agreement. I sold for Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk. Yeah, and that, Dana, is what they wanted you to do. And it was really amazing. It was really amazing. Here's a question. Can you go back to old school and still gain a wide audience with so many secrets about wrestling given away? I don't know that. Yeah, I think you can go back to do things like that. I don't think that you're going to ever see anyone come out. You're probably never going to see wrestlers that will maybe look like the guys from the 70s and 80s again, because that's just the fashion trend and things like that, the flamboyancy and everything like that. But yeah, you can incorporate old school, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not hokey.
Yeah.
And you bring in the elements of the old school. So you have guys really beefing with each other. And, in a lot of cases, what people don't understand is back in the day, they would pair up people who legitimately did not like each other because they're going to pull the best out of each other in those programs. So yeah, why not? Why not get back to it?
And again, when Jeff and myself admire wrestlers that take Rohit from Impact, for instance, we admire guys that know where they came from, learned from where they came from, and they use that in modern day. And that's why we like him as a heel. He is a throwback. And listen, I like guys that will do that. They'll take things that they learn. I gotta shout out Ace Austin. Ace Austin was interviewed on Busted Open on the Saturday show, and I got to hear the interview today. He, for being such a young dude, 24 years old, and he talked so eloquently about, and I didn't know this, he was offered a job in NXT. He could have gone to NXT, and he chose to go to Impact because he felt when he was 19 years old, when he was offered this, that he was not ready. And he said, I didn't want to go there because I didn't feel comfortable about going there. But again, and I'm bringing this up because he talked about the people who he learned from. Now, he studied under the Samoans, under the Wild Samoans, but he also learned from guys like Dean Malenko. And the guy he idolizes the most is AJ Styles. And it's odd that he would say that because AJ carried Impact, carried them for years. So, you know, hats off to him. And again, they are looking at old school wrestling and they are incorporating that into their persona. They're doing some of the things that they think that are going to stick. I mean, Ace Austin's got, you know, he's got the gimmick with the card that you don't see anybody else using that, you know, so he's building up himself, and man, he's got a rich career ahead of him wherever he ends up going. You know, whether he stays in Impact and he wants to be the AJ Styles of Impact, or whether he ends up going somewhere else, but wherever, it looks like he's on the right track. So, listen, I'm all for that. Learn from the old stuff, incorporate it even a little bit, maybe bring that memory back to some people who did see that. And for those who didn't, it's something new for them to see anyway. So good stuff. All right. What is next, Jeff?
All right. So we got a couple intriguing matches so far for Turning Point, which is on November 20th.
Coming up soon. It's only 13 days away. Yes, and that will be, obviously, we will be doing that. That is Impact's next pay-per-view event. So, yeah, and look at the matches we've got already. We've got a rematch. The Inspiration, who's being run around by all of the supernatural characters at Impact right now, including Decay and the Undead Brides, and it's almost kind of like they're kind of ganging up a little bit on the new champs. So we've got that going on, and then of course we got Mickie James and Mercedes Martinez. Which should be a very good match. The promo with those two women was excellent on this past Impact show as well, getting you psyched up to see them fight. And, you know, one of the things you want to do with a current champion is always make it look like the person who is opposing them can end up beating them. So that promo certainly did that, where she came out and, you know, she gave the respect and stuff like that to Mickie, but said, hey, listen, I want that title. And they kind of went at it a little bit, and I think it's going to be a great match. So these are only two of the matches we got. I'm sure we'll get a lot more this Thursday, and of course the go home show. But yeah, it's looking like Turning Point is going to be good. And this is one of their kind of off month pay per view. So this isn't one of their big ones that they do. But so far, I like what we're getting to see, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it so far. Man. People in the chat are talking about Kiss Demon, and Conrad just named him the Decay Demon. I like that even better.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
You know what? They may do that, Jeff, because like I said before, I highly doubt they're giving Kiss any residuals. So they may have to do that anyway. I'd be down with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it's looking good. And the two things we saw already, just all the more reason to, if you have nothing to do on Thursday and you haven't been watching Impact Wrestling, come out and check it out. Check out the show with us. Watch along with us. If you haven't watched it in a while, come out and see it. I don't think you'll be sorry. It's been really fun, really good. And most of all, you don't get a lot of the politics and stuff like that you see all across wrestling from other things. So, come and check it out if you haven't already. We're here every Sunday. Right? Yeah. And it's good. You get to just take a breath.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the wrestling. So, yeah. Come and check it out. But all right. What is up next?
All right. So last thing, we kind of talked about it already, but the face off
between Mercedes and Mickie.
Yes, I had a little
got a little. Yep, I got it.
little issue there.
Yep, you're good.
There we go. All right.
Jeff's gonna take a breath.
I'm gonna take a breath. You know, I was so hyped up about this showdown that I, just took in a little too much wind.
Yeah, we don't want Jeff passing out on the show. That would be bad. But yes, again, we mentioned it a little bit as one of the matches that already got announced. Any of this kind of stuff to me is just a bonus, because I really didn't think that Mickie was going to win the title anyway. So as long as we're going to see her hold on to it, and now, I don't know, maybe she'll hold on to it through the end of the year. I kind of thought she might be a transitional champion, but that may not be the case. You really don't know what else Mickie has on the agenda, whether, I know she was working with NWA a little bit and stuff like that, but, she doesn't have anything going on and she is down in Vegas and wants to hang a little bit. Maybe she won't lose that title right away and she will end up keeping it. And I think when we were talking about this on After the Impact, I think we all agreed, and I think Conrad was there too, or Tazzy, I don't remember who. It might have been Conrad, but I think we all agreed that she was probably going to win this match. Yeah. So that would mean that she's going to hold on to that title longer and through January and to their pay-per-view in January. So, and again, we don't know who that'll be. Is it Deonna Purrazzo that's going to come back after her, or is it somebody else that we're going to see Mickie encounter? But hey, like I said, anytime I could see her wrestle for the title, because again, you're at a point where you just don't know how much more this will last. So enjoy it, because you don't know when it's going to stop. So, but I'm looking forward to this. Great to see Mercedes. She looks really, really good. She's looked great in the ring. And I think it's going to be a good showdown, Jeff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this match. Honestly, two OGs. A lot of people, if you haven't watched a lot of wrestling outside of WWE, then you might not know Mercedes Martinez before she got to WWE. So she's been around a while, and I'm just excited to see this, and I want to see where they go next. Could we see someone else come in to challenge for that title? That's what's going to be interesting to see, how many, if any, of the talented people that have just been released, how many end up in Impact. And you're talking about, and we'll get there, because we might have a topic later on talking about Impact and signing some of these folks. So we'll get there. I'll talk about what I feel like certain signings could do for Impact. So,
all righty. All right, man. What have we got next?
We've got everybody's favorite segment up next. So, folks, if you don't know, Joe has scripted out his grievance.
I'll even show you there it is. Yep.
There it is. So, I'm just going to play the music, and I'm going to let Joe do his thing, because I just want to sit back and listen. Here we go.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're gonna hear about it.
Like the Joker said, and here we go. Yeah, I've never scripted one of these. I did this week. This has been boiling up since the releases, and I've got a good amount of stuff to say on the subject. So I'm gonna start by telling a story. And sometimes when you see things happen to folks, you kind of personalize it for yourself. And maybe you put yourself into that situation a little bit, because maybe something that happened to them happened to you. And in this case, that's what it was. So I am going to start by saying that, and I would never wish this on anyone. So I hope that all of you, whether you're younger or you're older or in between, I hope that you can get through your career, whatever you choose that to be, without ever having to concern yourself with losing that career or losing that job. Because I can tell you from experience that it is not pleasant. It happened to me twice, and neither time was any fault of my own. I'm not going to go into where or who or any of that kind of business, and the names will not be said of anyone. But the first time I was in a place, and I knew a lot of people, as I usually do in my career. I've always met a lot of people that I was friends with. And we really got along. We had a good little crew of people and stuff there. And so along came a person into that place who wasn't really, it was kind of a new person that showed up, upper management kind of a guy, and just showed up out of the blue one day. He wasn't hired in our location or anything like that. He just showed up. And everybody was kind of wondering, well, what is this dude here doing? Like, why is he here? And why, and he was kind of going around and asking people questions and talking to people and stuff like that. And you never really kind of knew what his position was. And so, I mean, I had a little bit of background in management and things like that. So I kind of put two and two together and kind of realized that, he wasn't probably there for just the whole, functioning of that particular place, but he was there for some other reason. And so things went on. And we started getting, as you do when you're in a smaller place, rumblings go forward, and you start hearing that, well, things may not be going so well, and people may not be around and things like that. But you never really expect it to be, you. So long story short, I went to work one day, got there, expected it to be a normal day. And walked in, and I was called to the office. I wasn't in there very long, 10, 15 minutes or so. And again, said hello to a lot of my friends and stuff like that I knew there, talking to them. And I got called in the back. Sitting there was the manager, and sitting there was that guy who I mentioned that had been kind of around the store. I sat down for a little bit, and I was like, well, thank you for coming in. All the pleasantries were dispensed. And, kind of got right down to it. I saw some pieces of paper laying on the counter, and they pretty much came around and, told me about all this. And I kind of lost track a lot of what it was. And I'm not going to go into boring details with that kind of stuff anyway, because it was a long time ago. But needless to say, I was told that my position was no longer wanted, and I was no longer going to be part of that location. They give you a whole bunch of paperwork. They tell you, sign this, sign this, sign this. You're going to get, this, and you're going to get that, and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. Very cold, very, that kind of thing, very uncomfortable. And the things I can remember is I sat back and tried to process it. And the first thing that you do is you panic. What I did is I started asking them, well, can you give me this instead? Or can you send me to this place instead? And you try to get that out of the way. You try to do all that stuff because you're just trying to at first you're in denial. You're like, no, this can't, this can't be happening. So, and I did all of that. And to no avail. They were like, no, we can't do that. There isn't anything else. There's no other places, no other positions, no other places you could go. So once that was all done, everything was signed off on. I walked what felt like a green mile. And if you know the movie The Green Mile, you know what that means. I had to walk out through the entrance of the place, past all of my friends that knew me, and embarrassing, yes, quite sad, and and I walked out the door for the last time. Walked out to my car, and I sat there. Didn't really know what to do. At the time, I had my daughter who was younger. I knew that my wife was at work, but I didn't know what to do. And I was sad. I was angry. I was confused. And the emotions just rolled out. And I had no clue at that moment what I was going to do. I didn't know what the future was going to bring. I didn't know what I was going to do for money, for benefits. Those of you who are overseas, living overseas in England and places like that, a lot of that you don't really understand, maybe because that's a big thing, is medical benefits here. Because if you don't have a job, they are so expensive that most normal people that are on a regular kind of income that aren't like rich, it's not easy. They are very, very expensive. And so I didn't listen. You don't know where your next dollar is coming from. You don't know where you're going to get the benefits from. You don't know where any of that. And I've had medical issues in my life and stuff like that. So that's important. So I would never wish that on anyone. I would never want anyone to go through that. And listen, I know it happens. That's not what I'm debating here. I know it happens every single day. And it's not just to people that are higher up or people in entertainment. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody every single day of the week. Now, sometimes they bring it upon themselves. Sometimes they don't. It's a fact of life. It happens, right? I just wanted to start off with this because I wanted to make people aware that these people are like you and like me. They are human beings. And regardless of whether we look at them as that, because we don't, sometimes we see them as these larger than life figures on a TV screen. It is difficult to think that way and difficult to realize that they are regular human beings. We watch movies, films, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. And the people that we see there don't seem sometimes like they are just like you and I. They go home every night to a family. They go home every night to a significant other, or, they go home every night to their brother or sister, or whatever the case might be. But they are just like us. And that's what I wanted to start this with. Now, so let me go into the list of releases. More than a dozen. People who appeared on television, people who may not have. High number of men and women released have been signed under the direction of Triple H, which I'll get to. So the list includes Keith Lee, Frankie Monet, better known as Taya Valkyrie if you watched Impact, Ember Moon, Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, Grand Metalik, Nia Jax, Harry Smith, Mia Yim, Eva Marie, Hit Rose BFAP, Oni Lorcan, and Lindsay Dorado. So, I am going to go into some that meant more, not more, but I guess maybe I got to be a fan of. The other thing I want you to keep in the back of your mind is that before this happened, earlier that afternoon, there was an announcement made of quarterly revenues, $256 million in a quarter. That's 3 months, guys. 3 months. 256. They're not in the black. That is a lot of money that they are making. So, all right, let me go. And let me go to Karrion Kross. Well, actually, before I get there, let me start with this. There were mentions made of some of these people, and I'm going to bring up Nia Jax. Like her or not, Nia Jax was in WWE for a long period of time. Nia Jax was shining during a time, like Bray Wyatt, like others, when it was very, very difficult. You talk to some of these wrestlers who had to work through COVID, and you ask them, and I've heard several of them interviewed, and you ask them how hard that was to do in front of no fans, you will hear them tell you that was the hardest part in their life in wrestling that they ever had to overcome. Nia Jax, whether you, again, I don't care whether you like her or not, whether you don't like her, what she does in the ring, you don't like her because she's a heel or for whatever reason it is. She entertained people during that time. She was there a lot. Nia left recently because she had requested a mental health break. She needed to get away because of mental health. She did, and they allowed it. So she had been out because of that. She was about to come back, and she realized that she couldn't because she wasn't at a point where she could come back yet because of their issue that she left in the first place. So she called into her boss or whoever that was and said, I am still having issues. Can I get an extension, please, on my break? She got no answer. And then she got her walking papers, which was basically in the form of an email saying goodbye. We'll see you later. Thanks for your service, or whatever it was that they got. That's disgusting. I'm not going to lie and say I've never seen it, because I have. I've seen it. I've seen companies do it to people. They go out on a sick leave or a medical leave, and next thing you know, they come back. They're not protected anymore because in the United States, medical leave will protect you. And there are people who take advantage of that. But that medical leave will protect you. And then when you get back, in many, many cases, the company will then fire you. Now, that's if they didn't deem you to be needed anymore. They're not going to just fire you for that. But, that has happened before. And I've seen it happen. So, but it's lousy. And I'll call anyone out on it. I've seen it throughout my career too. It's crappy. It's really, really lousy, and I felt horrible for her when I read that paragraph that she wrote. And it had to be very good. It had to be very, very hard for her to write that. Very, very hard for her to write. Let's talk about Karrion Kross and Scarlett. And the first thing I'm going to talk about with Karrion Kross is, and I said this on Twitter, I am going to throw out an apology. I am. Because remember Happy Days? Those of you guys who watch Happy Days? Fonzie used to say that, right? When he would say, I was wrong. Many of you, including a lot of you in the chat, a lot of people on Twitter, called me out and said, why are they the B word? Him. I'm not going to say it because I still hate that word. Why are they doing this to him? What is going on? Why is this happening? And I kind of just said to everybody, I'll just be patient. It'll be cool. It's a little, let's start back at the beginning. He was in NXT as one of the coolest, most, intimidating wrestlers you have ever seen, with the best entrance that I have seen in a long, long time. And anybody can fight me on that. His entrance was absolutely amazing. The entrance with Scarlett, the entrance with him, it was absolutely amazing. You can't tell me. And listen, this is what I don't understand. This character was made to, you didn't have to change him. Why the need? Why do you feel the need to change him when you have something that is tailor-made to walk onto the WWE roster, the main roster, and do what he did and still be amazing? Why do you feel the need? Now, what is that? Is that jealousy? Is that pettiness? Well, I can't have that same guy coming here and doing what he did. I can't have Triple H stamped all over that. Is that what that is? Is that really what that is? Stupid. Like Randy Orton said, stupid, stupid, stupid. He comes up to the main roster. What does he do? He was undefeated. Never lost. Never lost. Was undefeated. Comes up on the main roster. Loses. His first match. Loses to Jeff Hardy. I love Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's a legend in this business, and he always will be. He lost to Jeff Hardy, who hadn't been on TV. The dude hadn't been on TV, hadn't been seen. He was on Main Event. And he loses to Jeff freaking Hardy. Boom. Done. Done. You just took that character that was so built up again for success and you destroyed it. And then the other thing he had going for him was Scarlett. Everybody said, where's Scarlett? What's going on with Scarlett? Why isn't she around? And again, I said, oh, give it time. They can't possibly pass up on using that entrance. They can't. There's no way they can do that. They have to wait for, what did I say? Wait for the pay-per-view. Oh my God, they have to do, they'll have him lose. Okay, maybe they'll have him lose, but then Scarlett will come out and it's like all of his sudden, all his powers come back when she shows up. No. They had her training as a wrestler. And maybe she got hurt. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. That story will probably come out at some point. I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, fans loved him. Fans loved her. Gone. Before he was gone, and this is genius, and yet it's not. This is Vince McMahon through and through. What does he do with him? Well, it's not working. It's not working. So we're going to have him come out dressed up like Demolition. Nobody's going to remember Demolition because that was in the 80s. Nobody's going to remember that. Throw that kind of spiky stuff on him, make him wear a mask, send him down to the ring. That'll be really cool. No one will remember that. I used to think I was stuck in the 80s. And I am. And I'll openly admit it. That dude, he's way worse than me. You got to talk about being stuck in the 80s. Look at some of the stuff that he does. Have him come out dressed in that stupid thing that would only work in the 1980s, and then you turn around and say it wasn't working. He has to go. What? You did this. You ruined it. You did this to him. You made him put this stupid mask on his face and come down dressed like a gimmick that was in the 80s. That, yeah, I thought it was cool back then with leather and spikes and stuff like that. I was a big Jason fan. So, of course, I'm going to like anybody who wore a black hockey mask. It's not the 80s anymore. But yet, and Dave LaGreca, I'll give him credit, he talked about this too. What is he doing with Goldberg? The same damn thing he did in the 80s with Hogan. Bring him in. He's our guy. He's our guy. He's going to beat the Iron Sheik, the established champ. He's going to go in there and beat him in 4 minutes. No story. No build-up. Just go in and beat him. Do you see a pattern? All right. Cross and Scarlett. Keith Lee. Keith Lee was demolishing people in NXT. He was a force to be reckoned with in NXT. Champion in NXT. And yes, I saw the comment in the chat, and I was going to get to that later. Five champions from NXT gone. You going to tell me that there isn't something between Vince and NXT? Are you going to tell me that? Because I'm not going to believe you. I'm not going to believe you. Gone. Keith Lee. What did they tell Keith Lee? Or what did they say? Did you see the comments about Keith Lee? He has an attitude problem. Where did we hear that before? Bray Wyatt? He's got an attitude problem. How many times are you going to use these ridiculous things and make that the blame? All right, budget cuts, I get it, because they have to make an announcement. They have to say something about budget cuts because that's all they can say. They can't come out and say why people were let go. But everybody said budget cuts, and they were saying budget cuts. They were saying vaccines, which Nia Jax shot that right down. So they're saying all this. But now there's word out there that said that Keith Lee had an attitude problem. Would you not have a bit of an attitude problem if you had a killer entrance, a killer character, and then you got sent up to the main roster and you came in with brand new music, which kind of sucked, and then you came out with a brand new entrance that really wasn't indicative of what you built up in the past, and then you're made to, then you go away, you get COVID, and you go away, and then you're made to change your gimmick again to this Bearcat thing, which you never agreed with in the first place. You think he may be a little down. You think he may have a little bit of an attitude. Fantastic. But he had an attitude. Okay. Mia Yim. Mia Yim was amazing. Again, are we seeing a pattern here? In NXT. She had some fantastic matches. She comes up to the main roster. Where does she go? Worst faction ever. Retribution. Garbage. Hot garbage. And I said it from the start. Garbage. My God, the Good Brothers made fun of it and called it retribution and had people running around with paper plates on their face. Garbage. You start her off like that and put her in there. Oh, no, don't put her involved with women's matches or anything like that. No. Stick her in this stupid faction where these people are going to go no freaking place whatsoever with this. This is garbage. And that's where she got placed. Taya Valkyrie. And I'm not going to call her that other stupid name because that was ridiculous from the start anyway. Taya Valkyrie is a killer. Taya Valkyrie was one of the longest reigning women's champions in Impact Wrestling. Taya Valkyrie had a dream to go and work at NXT. This was her dream. She got her dream. What did they do with her? She had one championship match and lost. Now she's gone. She was cordial. She thanked them for thanked them for their time and thanked them for all that. But again, what did they do for her? Not much. And again, are we sensing a pattern? NXT. 5 former champions let go. Do you sense any animosity? Do you think maybe the old man is thinking that his son-in-law and his best friend are doing better than he is? You think? Maybe just a little bit. Being a fan. I'm a fan of wrestling. I've watched wrestling since I was about 8 years old. I watched WWF growing up because that's all I could really get, along with Saturday morning wrestling. I watched Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. That's what I grew up with. I'm a fan. More than anything, I'm a wrestling fan. Can I be disappointed and deflated? Yes. I'm tired of this. And I can express myself as being tired of this. I'm going to go back to the start of this rant. I feel horrible for these people because I went through it. Maybe I wasn't making as much money as they are, but I went through it. They are losing their dream. They are losing their job. They don't know where their next check is going to come from right now. People are going to say, oh, they'll get by. They'll get picked up. Listen, not only did these guys get let go, but so did almost all of the ROH roster. You don't think that there's a flood of talent out there on the market right now? Do you really think that they're all okay? They're okay. It's just business. Get out of here with that. It's not just business. It hurts. And it hurts if you're a fan. And it hurts if you're a fan of these people. You'll forget about it. You'll move on. They won't. There's always wrestling on for you to watch. You don't know where they're going to end up. We all hope they will land on their feet. We all hope they will get to continue their dream. We all hope they'll get to continue somewhere else. But there is no guarantee that they will. I'm going to tell you one more thing. First, I'm going to read you a quote because I saw this article today, and then I'm going to tell you one more thing, and then I'm done. This quote came from Sports Illustrated. You all know what Sports Illustrated is? Sports Illustrated is a magazine that's been around forever and ever and ever. As long as I can remember. I've been reading that since I was a little boy. I've been reading it to see my superstar athletes that I loved growing up. Larry Bird, Danny White, Kevin McHale, Steve Garvey, Ron Say, the list goes on and on. I've always got a copy of Sports Illustrated because that was the only thing you could really see to read about all this. This came from Sports Illustrated. This is not some little dirt sheet, some little rag. This is Sports Illustrated. And this is a quote from an article they wrote today about this topic, or it might have been yesterday. This shows a lack of awareness of what the audience wants. Ding, 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 ding. The company's inability to make new stars is also on clear display in these releases. Bang. McMahon and company do not listen. They dictate. Rather than understanding what a modern audience wants, they tell people what to like. Where have you heard this before? Have you heard when Mr. McMahon himself came out and said, I'll tell them what to like? But based on diminishing ratings, that is clearly not working. That's from Sports Illustrated. Lastly, I chose as a fan to express my displeasure and not watch SmackDown. I'm going to choose as a fan to express my displeasure and not watch Raw. I'm not. Because I've had enough. And that's the only way I can express myself to a billionaire to make him care. Not watch his show. That's what I'm going to do. Now, you heard Jeff's statement about it earlier. As a content creator, I am not here to tell you guys to do the same. I'm not. What I'm here to tell you is you go with your heart. You do what you feel is right and what you feel makes you happy. Please don't take what I'm saying as that you guys have to do what I want you to do or have to do what I'm doing. Please don't. You do what you enjoy. And you do things your own way. Because if there's anything that Jeff and I want to convey, it's that we as a show and as a group, and Jody and Tazzy too, are never going to tell you what to like and what not to. Because that's not why we're here. That's not what we do. You do what you feel like doing. Okay? You do what you feel like doing. That is your choice. My choice is to do what I'm going to do to express my displeasure. I did it with the Cowboys, and I'm going to do it here too. Now, like Jeff said, if you go back someday, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you see that you're not really missing it. Maybe you see that you're not missing the garbage. You're not missing the the controversy. You're not missing all this stuff that it really just, and going back to the beginning, that really just made you angry. Do you want to be angry at things that you're watching for entertainment? No, I don't. There's enough in this world that is going to make you upset and make you angry about other things. Probably don't need it in your entertainment. I'm done. Thank you for bearing with me. And I hope that it wasn't too overbearing. I wanted to get this all off my chest. I had a lot to talk about, and I could have gone into a lot more detail about some of these other people that were released. I didn't, but I feel bad for all of them, and I only hope that they can land on their feet. I hope that Impact may pick some of them up. I hope that somewhere else, AEW, I hope somewhere they can go and continue on with their dream and with their career and land on their feet. That's it. I'm done. Thank you for the time.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. I think now's as good a time as any to go to our next segment.
Let's go. Let's move on.
All right. Well, it's time to ring the bell.
Ding, ding. We are at our debate segment. Let me read some comments here really quickly. Hope New Japan picks up some of these people too. Jeff is back. Yay, says 205 ATL. Erase your mind. Good job, Joe. I did not watch SmackDown Friday. I'm getting sick and tired of the company's poor decision-making, unwillingness to change, and stubbornness. AAA Japan Wrestling AEW. Swag fan says fire. Alicia says it does happen. It happened to me twice. First one I had an accident that they caused, and the second one I got sick and became disabled. Got no friends, family, stuck indoors for you. 2 years. Glad I found your channel. Well, thank you, Alicia. We really appreciate that you come out, and maybe we can give you a little bit of happiness, a little bit of entertainment in your life, and that is why we do what we do. So, all right. Topic number one, and it fits the theme. Impact Wrestling will land at least 3 of the recently released wrestlers. Jeff, sell or no sell?
This is probably one of the easiest sales I've done.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Honestly, I think they get more than 3. And I think if they get the right ones, let's just say for whatever reason, they end up getting Mia Yim, they get Taya Valkyrie, they get Scarlett. I mean, and let's just throw in Ember Moon. Okay.
Your women's division would be bar none.
Bar none. It wouldn't even be close.
Nope.
Let's just say they get Cross, they get Keith Lee. Let's throw in Bronson Reed. Let's throw those 3 guys in. You tell me you can't build around those guys? One company couldn't, but I can tell you who can. That's Impact. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm selling that.
I'm going to sell it too. I love it. 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 There are people that are tailor-made to go back there. Now, whether or not they want to, that's going to obviously be up to them. But yes, Taya Valkyrie, and I'll go into this a little bit later. So yeah, Supersonic X. Taya Valkyrie can easily, and we're going to talk about Taya later on, and I'll bring it up then, slide right back into that company, and I'll go over that later. Cross and Scarlett. Scarlett referring to herself as the Smoke Show. Scarlett and Cross, where he's at right now, can go in there and he can be right. He can, and I'm not saying they will, because they'll build him up, because that's what Impact does. But he can go in there and be right in the main event picture. And you don't think that after seeing what they saw in NXT that they wouldn't team him and Scarlett back up? Yeah, fit right, definitely fit right in there. And like Jeff said, they already have a killer women's division. Killer. You put Mia Yim in there. You put Scarlett in there. I mean, Nia Jax. You put, any of those women. You put any of them in there, it'd be awesome. But I agree. I think Impact's going to make a big splash here. They didn't get it. I know a lot of people are saying, well, we've heard this before. They didn't get Braun. I get it, but I think there were circumstances there that Braun just maybe didn't want to, do all that. Oh, Cross did a video, Tazzy? Okay. What did he do? Let us know in the chat. I didn't see it. But absolutely, I think Impact will land, like Jeff said, at least 3. So we're going to see Impact that they're going to grab people from this. I have no doubt. And there are people that will fit right in that promotion. So I think it's going to be awesome to see. As Impact fans, I say it all the time. It's my favorite show of the week. I am super excited for them with this. All right, Jeff, what's topic number 2?
All right, topic number 2. Karrion Kross is the hottest free agent in wrestling.
Wow. You really have to stop and think on this one, because you have to stop and think about where the free agents are. Well, I'm gonna have to no sell this one. I love him, but you have Bray Wyatt out there. You have Braun Strowman out there. You've got, you've got other big names that are out there. And while I would love to see, can you imagine if Wyndham and Cross go to the same promotion? They've been talking about getting together. That Cross had mentioned one of the things he regrets is not having a match with him. So I think, and I might be biased. I think Bray is probably the hottest one that's out there now. And don't forget some of the guys in Ring of Honor. When Danhausen comes back from that injury, Danhausen will be a commodity. There is no doubt. They listen. That dude was on a Conan O'Brien podcast. So you want to talk about crossing over with the mainstream? He was interviewed by Conan O'Brien. You don't see that very much. He'll interview people like champions that have been around for quite a while. So there are other people out there. But I think right now, I think Bray is probably Wyndham. Is probably at the top. I think he is probably at the top. Braun, I don't know about, because I just don't know enough that he wants to wrestle a lot. He's doing a lot of bodybuilding stuff again too. You've seen pictures of him. He might kind of be venturing away. And when they asked him about what he wanted to do, he was saying he doesn't want to do it full time anymore. So I don't know that you can really say he's up there that far, because I don't know that he wants to do it. But I would have to say, I think that if Bray wants to wrestle, I think Bray can pretty much go anywhere he wants. So, what about you, man?
No sale. I'm trying to get the. There we go. You want to work? It was a hard one. Okay, now it's just going to do it again without me pressing the button. So, it got confused by my question. Honestly, as long as Wyndham's out there and there's a sparkle of a chance that he's going to wrestle again, he's going to be the hottest free agent out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just what I think at this point. I mean, as much as I love Cross, Wyndham's the hottest out there, bar none, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, it's like I said, as long as that's what he wants to do, as long as he wants to wrestle, then I would think that's what he's going to do. Tazzy sent us that in a DM. We'll have to check that out a little bit later with the video. All right, what's topic number 3?
All right, we need participation in the chat for this one. So when we ask it, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. I want you guys in the chat to give us your top 3. But topic number 3, the New Day is a top 3 faction of all time. Top 3. So think about all the factions throughout the years. Top 3. Joe, what say you?
Oh boy, man, this is a tough question. So we could do a show. This would have been a great topic for one of our top 10s.
Yeah.
But we have to get back to those. Now that we're not doing a lot of all the watch-alongs and stuff like that, we can get back to doing more fun stuff like that. But yeah, this could be. Oh my God, this is hard because I love the New Day. I love what they do. I'm gonna have to sell it though. Or I'm sorry, no sell it. I'm sorry. I have to no sell it. I mean, just right off the top of my head, I've got NWO and I've got DX. Right off the top of my head. And then there are so many others that were in the 90s. I mean, you have stuff going on now that's out there. You have, of course, the Bloodline now with Roman. You have the stuff going on in AEW with Jericho's faction and MJF's. You have so many factions. There are so many out there. 4 Horsemen. My gosh, how did I forget that one too? Yeah. There's such a list of them. I would definitely say they're up there. Whether I maybe go down to maybe 5, and I would say maybe they were top 5, and if not, definitely without a doubt top 10. But it's so hard because you can go back to the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, and really think of which are the Hart Foundation. Like you could think of some of these factions that there were out there that were just unbelievable. So yeah, DX, NWO, and 4 Horsemen. Yeah. So now I have to no sell it. The New Day's great. I'm so happy for Xavier Woods as a wrestler because he's really starting to show. I mean, this whole King thing, he's really playing it up. So yeah, I'm very happy for him that he's finally getting some limelight for himself. But just with the other factions that are out there, I have to say no sell. What about you?
As much as I love the New Day, no sell for me. I mean, right now, just off the top of my head, NWO, DX, 4 Horsemen, the Freebirds. I'm trying to DX.
Azan said the Bullet Club,
the
Wolf Pack, the Freebirds, like Jeff said. What are some of the?
Here's another one: Aces and Eights.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, not even the Von Erichs. I mean, you can name so many different ones before you get to them. And I'm trying to find a place, like, where do I put them? Are they top 10? Are they top 20? Yeah, Main Event Mafia. The Nation of Domination. I mean, we can keep going. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on where you put them at. But for me, they're not top 3. They're probably more like, if we were doing a top 10 list, they'd probably make my top 5.
Anybody say Evolution? We have Evolution.
Evolution, yeah.
Yeah.
UE, Undisputed Era is a good call too. That they're a great faction. So again, you know what, Joe? The next top 10 we need to do top 10 factions.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll segue this into a show. We used to have these, like I said, a lot on Twitch. We have to go back to it because it's a lot of fun. And it gets a lot of participation from you guys because you guys can yell out and stuff like that, which you like. We basically do we've done top 20s. And we've only done a couple of them, and we did them strictly on Twitch. We won't do that anymore. We'll do them on our channel here. But yeah, it's a nice little quick stream. Usually goes about an hour. hour, and just count down the top 20. Like almost like if you're old enough to remember, like top 20 countdowns that they would do on the radio or on TV and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a good idea. We're gonna do that. Mark says very close no sell in this one. This might sound crazy, but before they split to one, I feel like the Shield is one. Yeah, the Shield's definitely up there, no doubt.
Yeah.
How about the Nexus? The Nexus. There's a lot. There are really a lot, but yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll transition that to a show at some time. That'll be fun. All right. What is up next?
All right. Well, Joe, it's time for us to book a wrestler.
All righty. Let's roll.
So, we got an interesting one that we're going to book. Man, I love the fact that you guys are continuing to put your
look at everything. Ravens Flock and ECW, the Oddities, Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, Ministry of Darkness, The New Day, Are You Ready? Two Worlds for ATJ. Are you ready? No Sell the Corporation, Straight Edge Society, Frontline and TNA. Wow, look at all this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
They're coming up with some good stuff. Man,
good stuff.
Big Dan, The Shield, The New Day, Bloodline at 6 for me, followed by Dangerous Alliance, Bullet Club, Corporation, Evolution. Oh, man, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Jeff, who are we booking?
Taya.
Look at this. Taya, and I'm not using that dumb name anymore. Taya Valkyrie. Oh boy, Jeff, I have got a great listen. This is tailor-made. Tailor-made. If you guys were watching Impact when Taya Valkyrie left, Jeff, I never thought I never thought I would do this. But you know what? Taya, I know you probably don't watch our show, but if you should take a listen at a particular point, Taya, you need to come back. And I'm going to tell you why you need to. Because you're not guilty.
Mm.
You're not guilty, Taya. They need... Taya's not guilty. Taya, you've been set free from your prison in Stamford, and you need to come back. And where I'm going with this, well, we all know the reason why. If Tassie's saying don't do it, yeah, she was shipped to Stamford prison because of the "Who Shot Johnny Bravo" thing. Taya, I really want you to come back, and I want you to come back so much that I'm going to say that there just might be some proof. That's right. There might be some proof that you didn't do what they accused you of doing. So you need to come back to Impact. And what I'm getting at here, she is a ready-made story. She's a ready-made story there. What I'll say about Taya Valkyrie, and one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen Taya do was on Talking Shopomania. When Taya was in that fight that they had in that little tiny basement, and Taya was just murdering people. Like, I'm like, what is this girl doing? Like, she's just slaughtering people in the basement. Like, she's just like hacking people up, and there's like blood everywhere, and there's like it was amazing. Taya is a warrior. Taya can come back as almost just about anything she wants. She could step right into the same character she was being before. But if Taya wanted to be something other than that, oh my God, Taya can be an action star in a film. I mean, look at her. You don't think Taya can fit into like a Wonder Woman movie or something along those lines? You don't think Taya could come in as a character, almost like a gladiator type of thing, like Xena? Yeah, listen, this woman has a ton of talent. She showed it when she was doing the Wrestle House thing, with the stuff she had going on with Rosemary and the laughs that she could get from that. And then she's also ruthless. She was Impact's champion, and she held on to that title for a good long time. She is ruthless, and this woman can wrestle. There is no doubt this woman can wrestle. They put her with a dog, and they named her something else. Ty is incredible. And how I would book her is, again, I would bring her back to Impact because that's where I think she flourished, and I think she would be amazing there. Whether or not she's going to get offers, I'm sure she probably will. She may get offers from AEW. She may get offers from, other places, but I would bring her back into Impact Wrestling because of the stuff that's going on there now. And man, oh man, what I would do, Jeff, is I'd have her come back, wear a Loca. Yes, she could go back to AAA. She spent a long time in AAA. She'd be amazing back in AAA as well. Yeah, that's a great shout. I would. Good night, James. Thanks for coming. Man. I know it's late there. Good night. But I would love to see her come back to Impact. And I'd get her right involved with no tag teams. I want her in the singles division. I would get her involved against some of the people who are established there. Love to see her go up against Mercedes Martinez. I'd love to see her. I mean, listen, if they're not her and Deonna Purrazzo, if they have Mickie James still have that title, I'd love to see Taya against Mickie James. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I think it'd be an amazing match. Taya comes out in a t-shirt, says a hashtag free Johnny, and on it says, I'm out of prison. I wish my husband wasn't a drip hanging out with Dancing with the Stars reject. Taya was an Impact before. She was amazing there before, and I have no reason to doubt she wouldn't be. If I'm going to book her, I'm bringing her back, and I'm bringing her back with the Johnny Bravo story because it fits right in. You don't even have anything to write. It writes itself. You bring her right back into that, have her go after the people that sent her to jail, the people that wronged her. Oops. Maybe I may not. Never mind. But I'd have her. I mean, she could go after Rosemary because, a lot of that was Rosemary's deal and all that kind of stuff that was going on. But I really would love to see. And again, it's going to depend on what Taya wants. Does she feel like she may be backtracking if she goes back to Impact? I hope not. Because I really think that she was great there. And I'd absolutely, as a fan of them, love to see her come back. But Taya, you didn't do it. That's all I'm going to say. You were wronged. You didn't do it. Go ahead, Jeff.
I just like playing that drop. I just like playing that. I would, if I were her, I'd either go back to AAA or I'd go back to Impact. And with the relationship, who's to say she can't do both?
Yeah.
What I would do is bring her back and immediately put her up at the lower main event card and have her squaring off with Deonna. I would have Deonna maybe even lose to her initially for an opportunity to go up against Mickie. And I just want to see her in some high level matches right away. I do want to see more of the comedic stuff though with Swinger and with Bravo.
Yes.
But man, I just think that, if she comes back to Impact, there's so many things that you can do with her right away.
Yep.
And I mean, I can't wait. And again, you could even put her, if you get multiple women that were released, you could have her go up against one of them. Or here's another idea. They could all be in a faction, but work as singles competitors. Mm-hmm. And they come in as heels from the place up north. that looks down on everybody, and they get their comeuppance. There's a bunch of different ways you can go, but the knockouts division is already great. It's going to be even better if they get her and then some of the names I mentioned earlier. Then just look out.
Absolutely. She got out of prison for good behavior. If she goes to AAA, oh, I missed that one. If she goes to AAA, does she bring back Los Perros del Mal? I don't really keep up with them, so I'm not sure if they're still around. I'd like to see her in Impact, however, as a wrestler. Let her go where she wants. TNA Wrestling Championship Women's. I have a feeling that Morrison will be right behind her. I had that feeling too, Taz or Big Dan, and I don't like to think about that stuff. I really don't. But if there's more, I had that feeling too. Got to be tough when you're married. Spouses see one spouse get mistreated. You may, and listen, it's not like Morrison has been given the royal treatment there either. It often seems like they had no clue what to do with that man and his talent. So,
yep.
Wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked. AEW is getting too top heavy. We talked about that, I think, on Impact a little bit. Ice-T opening pun on SVU. Taya versus Rachel Ellering. Yeah, that's a great shout. That's a great shout. The two of them, yeah, absolutely. Jordan Grace, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. All right. So there you go. That is our Book a Wrestler segment. Hope you enjoyed that. Graham, I wouldn't say hoarding because they can do indie shows. Johnny Mundo was gold in Lucha Underground. Jordan Grace and Michael King. Time for Impact to pick up a few of the ROH women and bring in a secondary knockout titles in their own hour knockout show. Oh, that'd be cool. I'm bonus baby. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. How about a faction called Stanford Has Intelligence Trolls? Nice, Dan. I think Morrison's contract is coming up. 2-year contract, I think. Yeah, dude. I don't want to speculate. We could spend another half an hour or more speculating on who could be next. I mean, there have been tons of names mentioned. Sami Callihan, Kevin Owens, Sami Callihan, Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Their contracts are coming up. Yeah, I don't want to speculate. You're speculating with someone's career, and I don't want to do that. But yeah. Where do you think people like EC3 and Jay Lethal will end up? So hard to say. EC3's got that thing going on with the Free the Narrative. And honestly, if there's any one person that I don't think that needs to go into a bigger roster, it could be him. He seems like he's really at home with that. And as long as he could keep on doing that, he could keep doing that kind of stuff forever and really not have to be on anyone's roster. Jay Lethal probably fit okay in AEW. But I don't know. You know, you're right. I mean, the one thing is that's where I was leading with my rant, is that these places can't take everyone. They can't. They don't have unlimited money. So they can't take everyone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some of these guys are gonna end up in the indies, and they might struggle a little bit. So yeah. Braun invited Cross to do a Free the Narrative film, rumor. Ooh.
That'd be good.
Oh, I'm down. We'd be doing a watch along for that if that happens. EC3 to MLW. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget MLW's out there too. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right, Jeff. What do we got up next?
All right. So it's time for our favorite moments of the week.
All right, top 3. You guys can shout them out. What were your favorite moments of this week in wrestling? Let us know in the chat. So let us know what your favorite moments of the week were from this past week in wrestling. That includes all of the shows that you may have watched. Let us know. Jeff, what was your number 3?
Man, my number 3 moment of the week, I've got to give it to CM Punk and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
For that fire promo, and I'm invested in the match now. Like I'm invested.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, no doubt. I mean, that was honestly was one of the best promos I've seen in a long time. No doubt. Yeah, good call. Let's see. I've got a book of wrestler idea. Triple H, if he left WWE and bought Ring of Honor. There you go.
Hey.
CM Punk and any Kingston promo. Justin Cruz agrees with you, Jeff. Number 1 is CM Punk and any promo, says James Grant. For my number 3, I'm gonna go, and this might seem kind of silly, actually, but one of my favorite moments of the week, and you always like to see people coming back. One of my favorite moments of the week, and I know he wrestled a jobber, so some people are going to say it's stupid, but Eric Young. I think we're on a path to see this guy just unleashed, cut loose. He was held down. He couldn't do anything. He was doing the faction thing and kind of just walking down with the faction with VBD because of the injury. And he came out and I love the interaction between him and the jobber that they had there and the new guy that they had. It was just great. He was playing his usual mind games, kind of talking to the guy like, yeah, what do you, and this guy comes down kind of confident. He's smiling and things like that. So it's great to see Eric Young back. Impact needs him. Listen, we'll see what he does. But I'll tell you, if it ends up going the way we kind of expect it maybe to go, this could be the start of a hell of a feud and a build-up toward him being the first guy that could end up wrestling Josh Alexander after he maybe defeats Moose and wins that title. He may go right up there at that point and wrestle against Josh, and man, would that be an amazing feud. Anything that Eric Young does, he's been fire and Impact, and I don't see why that wouldn't continue. So Eric Young's my number 3. Jeff, what's your number 2?
Number 2 for me, I'm going to stay on the show that you just mentioned, and I'm going to give number 2 to Mercedes Martinez being in a title match right off the bat, earning that opportunity, showing her earning that opportunity at Knockouts Knockdown, and getting in that war of words and that face off with Mickie James. I'm so happy to see her flourishing. And same thing for Rachel Ellering, Deonna Purrazzo. There's a theme with everything that I'm saying. Chelsea Green,
yep.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, that was a great moment for me to see her in a spot like that. I was just really happy to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool moment. Jason Stoffer says number 1, Eddie and CM Punk. That seems to be a big one. Let's see. CM Punk and another one there. My favorite wrestling segment is anything Rosemary's involved in. I love her. I'm a fan too. Eddie versus Punk segment, easy, best damn thing I've seen in a long time. Punk and Kingston, a lot of that out there. Kevin Owens mentioning his contract status Monday night. Undertaker was he at the Cowboys Broncos game? What a shame.
Yeah.
Badly. Seth Rollins wearing the Brady Bunch living room as a suit. I really think Impact needs a secondary title. Roman Reigns telling you Usos last week's SmackDown was just as bad as Raw because he wasn't there. Ooh, okay. Mercedes and Mickie promo. For my number 2, am going to. I like the supernatural stuff. I love Decay, and I love the Undead Brides, and they were all involved with the. I keep wanting to call them the Iconics. They're the inspiration. Yes, I think the inspiration is going to be really good here. This is going to make for a lot of great stuff. They do these comedy kind of things really well. And you can already see with them, running around the back and stuff like that. They're running into the Undead Brides. They're running into Decay, and they don't know what to make of any of it. I like it. I dig stuff like that. And if the inspiration are going to hold those titles for a while, you can kind of see they're going to be involved with that stuff for a while and wait until they run into Mother, because Mother's going to probably show herself at some point. Sue Young, wait until they run into her. and what that's going to be. But I think they're doing a fantastic job with that, and I like how they're injecting some humor into it, and I love that supernatural stuff to begin with. So the Iconics, Decay, and the Undead Brides is my number 2. What's your number 1, Jeff?
Man, my number 1, I'm going to hit a bit of a serious note for a moment, and people may be like, how in the world are you going to hit a serious note when we're talking about favorite things? My favorite moment of the week was Jon Moxley getting help.
Okay. Yep.
I need, as someone who works in the field, who works with people in recovery on a daily basis, being able to admit that you need help is one thing. Seeking help is another, and actually following through with it shows the strength and the courage of a person. And here's what I need for people to understand, because I see Gus, I see your comment, and I don't want you to think I'm coming down on you. It is sad from a standpoint of he got to a place that was dark, but this part of his story could be the greatest thing that has ever happened in his life. This could be all about strength. This is all about strength, because for him to come out and have this shared takes a lot of strength and courage. A lot of strength and courage. So this is a good thing for him. Now I hope he gets the help that he needs. Sounds like he has some great people around supporting him. And as fans, there are things we can do to support, and that's be understanding. Honestly, don't worry about an in-ring return. It's not about that. He and his wife just had a child. This is about Moxley doing whatever it takes to be in a good spot for his family, for himself. Forget wrestling. It's all about his personal life and being there for the child. And, and that's what matters at this point. Wrestling, the underbelly of wrestling, can be a very ugly place. And I say that because I've been in locker rooms and I've seen what goes on in locker rooms. And a lot of times it's drugs and alcohol. It's readily available. So I've seen people that have had troubles, that have had substance use issues, and I've seen what it can do. I've also seen the flip side of it, and I've seen people get help. And that's like I said, one of the things I do on a day-to-day basis is I work with people who are in recovery. I don't work directly with them in every facet, but I provide resources, or I help provide resources. And the last thing I'm going to say is this. If you or anybody has substance use issues and you have no idea where to get resources or who to talk to or anything like that, this is an open invitation. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll send you any resources that we have, but hit me up.
Awesome. That's fantastic, Yeah, that's fantastic. You start to think about things when you see something like that come out. That is just more of what I mentioned earlier about how these people are human beings. We hold them on a pedestal. We look at them from a TV screen, but they're human beings first and foremost. And to see that he has done something like this to help get his life back. And listen, I'm sure that baby probably helped it along as well, because when the child is there, it makes you think differently of things and not so much of yourself. So yeah, absolutely, great sentiment and great number one. I'm going to go with your number 3 as my number 1, and that is the Punk and Kingston promo. It was just, for me, I always loved promos. Back from when I was a little kid watching stuff, I like the wrestling, don't get me wrong, but I was the one who lived for those little clips in between. When you'd have the wrestling would be done, the match would go 15, 20 minutes or so, and then you'd go back and you'd have the wrestlers come out and they would do those long clips that would take, 6, 7, 8 minutes. You had clips from Jake the Snake Roberts, classic. You had clips from Roddy Piper, stuff like that. I always loved those. Always a stickler for those things. And that promo between those two men is kind of what that reminded me of. It brought me back to old school wrestling and the old times, the old days that I watched wrestling. Again, it's something that, that can sell a pay-per-view. That can bring people to watch a pay-per-view that maybe they weren't going to watch before. It was heartfelt. It felt real, whether it was or not. And I thought it was fantastic. So that's my number 1. Jeff went into it before, but yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. Gus says, yeah, I love promos. CM Punk Eddie, Jeff Hardy is alcohol-free for a long time. Mark says, agreed. I feel like his buddies Rollins and Reigns are also part of that support system because even though they are in different companies, I think they're still – but listen, they could be in other companies and they could still be friends, Mark. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? Big Dan's talking to Conrad. He's doing this for himself and his wife and daughter. When he does come back, he'll be a better man for doing this. I applaud him for this act. This chat is so nice. There's no toxicity. Well, we like to keep that, Tony, and I'm glad that that's the case because there's, God knows, enough toxicity out there with everything else. Slack fan, same. I love the wrestling, but couldn't wait to hear what Dusty, the Four Horsemen, Nikita, Rock and Roll Express all had to say. Yeah, promos are great. I've always been a promo guy. All right, Jeff, what is next?
All right, well, it's time we hit a little bit of the lighter side of the ring.
All right, the lighter side of the ring.
Which means that Jessie is here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen her in a little while. Hopefully she's hanging out. Yeah, Jessie, we're tuning up the band. It's almost time for your appearance. If you're in the chat, hopefully you're still around. But yes, it's lighter side of the ring. It's time to get a little happy, get a little laughter going right before we take off for the week. And look who's up on the, oh my gosh. The Bushwhackers. These guys were unbelievable. These guys were unbelievable. Jessie is here. Cool. All right. Awesome. Let's see. We've got some people had to take off. Good night to those who had to take off for the night. Let's see. Gus said good night. Good night, Gus. They actually listen to us and try not to fish super chats. Yeah, no, we don't do that either. We're not all about the money. That's not what we do. Dylan, what's up, Dylan? Nathan. Hey, Nathan Salas, how are you? Long time no see. I'm happy for John Moxley. Will says, did you see Lindsay Dorado getting horrible comments after his release by Bailey's superfan dad? Glad he stood up for himself and other wrestlers backing him. Not sure. No, I did not see that. But the Bushwhackers. We're here to talk about the Bushwhackers. Oh, my God. These two guys. This epitomizes the 80s and the 90s wrestling. These guys would come down to the ring and just do whatever the heck they wanted. They were supposed to be two guys from the Outback. So could you imagine if guys from the Outback actually behaved like this? I don't know what the Australians thought of this, but could you imagine these guys came out down, and again, they would do that thing with their arms, come into the ring every single time. And when they got into the match, yeah, they're licking each other's heads. They're biting each other. These two dudes did whatever the hell they wanted to, but oh my God, was it funny every time they came out. And I guess more recently when you saw them, a lot of times they'd end up in matches you didn't expect them to be. Good night, Dana. They came out for a Rumble at one point, I remember, and they came out and did their whole thing. They're coming down to the ring, and they go into the ring, and they get thrown right out. And then they just start going like this, and they do it right back as they go right back up the ramp. Listen, sometimes you just hit on a gimmick. And these guys are the epitome of something like that. 80s and 90s wrestling had just the most outlandish gimmicks you could ever want to see. Between guys like George the Animal Steel biting turnbuckles and had a green tongue, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, they were bigger than life characters, and these guys were no different. But these guys when they came out, the little children in the audience would be smiling and laughing. They would bring smiles to everyone's faces when they would come out. And these guys were absolutely hilarious. And every time they'd come out and you'd hear that music play, you knew that it was going to be something absolutely crazy that you were getting into the ring. So love the Bushwhackers, and what a great throwback edition, and what a great way to make you laugh.
Yeah. I mean, I love these guys, and I'm glad that Tony brought up this point, because while this is supposed to be a fun part of the show, yes, like the one thing that you didn't have very much of is fans saying, oh, they should have been in the title picture already and put the titles on them, and they're not being booked properly. You know what? You don't need that all the time. Sometimes we just need to be entertained, and that's what these guys, they entertain. And I love these guys. And Gary, our old friend Gary, shout out, did an interview with I forget which one, but he did an interview.
Oh, okay, like a recent interview. I'll have to
check
that out.
Recent interview. So check it out on his YouTube channel.
Good night, Trex. I got to go, but I wanted to add a little to your rant. I think it's that not Vince doesn't listen to the live audience. It's his fault to understand that it's his creative's influence that affects them. Good night, Nathan. Thanks for coming. Best memory I have of the Bushwhackers is when I saw them at Agricultural Hall in Allentown. Oh, wow. Okay. And I was in the front row, and I put my head down and they licked my head.
Pre-COVID, obviously.
Yes. Obviously, it was a different time back then. That's really cool. That's funny, isn't it? And they did that. Yeah, they would absolutely do that. Could you imagine seeing a guy like that come down to the ring? I mean, look at him. Hardly has any teeth, and he comes down to the ring and he's licking your head. I watched the Bushwhackers in the Mid-South Territories, the Sheep Herders. They were vicious in their feuds. They were fantastic. So, yeah, they did come up as a completely different team from what they were before. I think Conrad mentioned that too. Was it just me, or did wrestlers from the 80s and 90s have a better time in their WWE career? Most wrestlers just seemed to have a smile on their face and joy. That could have been a little bit that they were having a great time, and it also been a little bit of what Jeff was telling you that he saw in the back room.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of that stuff would make you happy.
A lot. And it was going on.
They had wild matches with the Fabulous Ones and the Road Warriors. When Vince pulled back the curtain, it really hurt the business, in my opinion. It shows fans the secrets, says Swack fan. But yes, the Bushwhackers, just one of the many. And again, we'll have to do this more often, like a throwback edition. I like it because we can talk about so many of those crazy gimmicks. I mean, a guy like Coco Beware, just some of the insane things that you would see that would come down to the ring that were absolutely just hilarious. And for the lighter side of the ring, that's a great call. Butch and Luke. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. From New Zealand. There is a Tony. Is it Tony Garea? Tony Garea was from Auckland, New Zealand, I think. I'm just trying to remember wrestlers from New Zealand. I used to love Tony Garea. All right. There you go. So there's the lighter side, and you all know what comes after the lighter side. It's time for Jesse Calynn. So, Jesse, it is all up to you to finish up the show. It is Comedy in Calynn Corner. So, Jesse, you're up. Jesse's going to give us some jokes to finish the show off tonight. Rick the Model Martel. Yeah. Yes. Oh gosh, yeah. Like I said, there are so many you can pull from. It's just great stuff. I know everyone wants to hear my opinions on the releases. We'll give it to you on this Tuesday on NXT. Just a heads up, you might be surprised. So there you go. Yeah, make sure you join Tazzy on Tuesday for NXT. I think he also has MLW this week as well. So make sure you go check out Tazzy and check out his videos that he's got coming out. Make sure you check out Conrad, our good friend in the chat, Everything Pro Wrestling. Make sure you check his channel out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out his Twitter page and go check his show out. He always has a show that's after AEW that kind of reviews the show. So make sure you go and check that out also. So, Jesse, you're all set to go whenever you are ready to roll. She's got 8. Okay. All right. 8 jokes is good. Michael Myers has a new website, hack/hack/hack/ escape. Nice. Oh, the Halloween season's come to an abrupt end. I'm always depressed after Halloween's over because all the good horror movies and stuff go off the TV and go off the air and things like that. It's always a depressing time. But you move on to Thanksgiving and you get some classic films on Thanksgiving too. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is my go-to with John Candy and Steve Martin. I love that film. And I can't wait to watch it. I was telling Jeff earlier, I watched a movie called Drive. Oh, what a great film. I'm still buzzing after watching it. I can't believe I've never seen it because I like films like that. It was so good. If you haven't seen it, the soundtrack for it, amazing. I was listening to it on my way home and I was driving at night and it was awesome. I absolutely love it. Ryan Gosling is in it. So ladies, I'll kind of like Ryan Gosling. That's just the thing from The Notebook, I think. Go check it out. There's a lot of gore in it, though, so be warned.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. So good. Here comes the jokes, all dressed in white, I think. Drive is good. Oh, dude. Yeah, Conrad, it was so good. I love movies like that. I love noir movies, and I love the Neo ones, and I can't believe I never watched it. It was fantastic. I watched it on Amazon. A guy at work told me about it, and I meant to watch it a while ago, but I could never find it. So it was amazing, so good. Alicia's hanging in 320. Oh yeah, I know it's so late, you guys. All right, here we go. Number 1. What's a large gray animal that doesn't matter? An irrelevant. Nice. I like it. Nice. Bonus Baby says National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, baby. Oh, dude, I love that. I'll tell you right now, and people don't like me for it. I cannot stand the other one, the one that they show 24 hours straight of.
A Christmas Story.
I hate it.
That's like my favorite. That's like my favorite Christmas.
I don't know why I don't like. My wife even says, "How can you not like this movie?" I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know what turns me off to it. I can't. But I love Vacation. Christmas Vacation is amazing. I can watch it over and over again. There are 2 Christmas themed horror films I'd highly recommend: Toys of Terror and Letters to Satan Claus. Nice. Number 2. Here we go. What do you call a singing laptop? Adele.
That's pretty good.
That's good. That was clever. That was very, very clever. Very good. What did Hulk Hogan ask in arts and crafts class? What you gonna glue, brother? Nice. Nice. Wrestling joke. Nice. Very good. Very good. That was really funny. Really funny. All right.
Wait. Where's C Wrestling?
Yeah, she said that. C Wrestling, absolutely brilliant. I don't see him.
I don't see him.
Is he visible in the chat? I didn't see him in the chat.
I didn't see him.
I thought he'd be in here heckling Jesse, but I don't see him in there. Who the heck just approved C's horribly jacked up joke? Where is she wrestling? Where is this? Where is the joke?
I want to see it.
I don't see anything. If he's hiding out there, I don't see it. I don't see. I'm not seeing him at all. I don't see him in the chat. I don't see his joke. I don't know where this is. I mean, is he being invisible? What's going on? What is going on? You'll put an eye out, kid. Yeah, I see it. Why is everybody seeing it and we can't? What's going on? That's weird.
I only see it. I see it now, but that's just because I'm not on this one. That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. All right, number 3. How do you throw a surprise party at a hospital? Bring a strobe light into the epilepsy ward. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Where did you see it? Did you see it in the actual stream?
His comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just on my phone right now, so.
Yeah, that's really, really weird. I can't.
It was quite a joke there that he told.
I can't see anything. Let me see if I can go into the chat and see it. I don't want the sound on. Sound, go away. Go away. Go away. Yeah, you must be using his I can't see me keyboard. Yeah, right.
John Cena.
Oh, there it is. What's the difference between what? Ooh. Oh, jeez.
It's a doozy.
That is a doozy. Yes. Yeah, that is a doozy. I'm not even gonna read that one. That is a doozy. Yes. Yes, it is. Whee. All righty then. Well, I did see it. He's using his John Cena keyboard. You can't see me. All right, Jesse, what's next? How do you? Oh no, we saw that one. We got was number 3. What's number 4?
This is a perfect opportunity to use this.
And his name is John Cena.
Nice. What has 2 gray legs and 2 brown legs? An elephant with diarrhea. Oh gosh. Nice. That's really weird. I don't know what's going on. Cross released a new video. Yeah, Tazzy or not Tazzy. Yeah, Tazzy shared it with us. We have to watch it. Said a new video that it's almost time for us to be together again because he is coming. Wow. Okay, that was quick. That was fast. All right, number 5. So what if I can't spell Armageddon? It's not the end of the world. Awesome. Awesome. Oh gosh. The Swack Vet said now I got that visual. Are you talking about the elephant? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I was kind of thinking of it too. It was kind of gross. I can't listen to the John Cena theme without hearing Paul Heyman make the sound effects. Oh yeah, wasn't that great? That's a great comedy moment in wrestling. Great comedy moment. I don't even know how he did that with the tongue. Like I can't do that. Number 6. My mom said, "Take out the trash." I said, "Okay." The next day, she asked, "Where's your sister?" And I said, "In line to get crushed."
Goodness.
Took out the trash. Oh my gosh. Oh, love it. Love it. While we're waiting, don't forget to watch Abby's Window tomorrow with Jeff and Jody. That's at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're back on our normal time with that. Make sure you join the guys. They will be chatting about a lot of stuff, I'd imagine. A lot of stuff that Kyle's bringing out with artistry and things like that about what Bray was supposed to do. That pig mask is Amazing.
Yes.
It's just sad we never got to see it. Number 7. I brought my girlfriend home and introduced her to my family. My kids liked her, but my wife seemed upset. Oh, God.
My
That's
joke
awesome.
got stuck on that one.
That's awesome.
That's
Son, what's a
funny.
touchdown? Dad, I'm not sure. Son, we're Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I'm upset about Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. Listen, I don't even want to talk about football. Dallas played their worst game of the year. They looked horrible. Absolutely horrible today. They got torched. All right. We got what? 2 more? Were we on 7? Yeah, we were on 7. One more. We have one more from Jesse, and we will wrap things up. Like I said, don't forget to join Jeff and Jody. Don't forget to throw up a like on the stream tonight before you leave as well. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel also if you haven't done so already. We're on our way to 2,500. So make sure you do that for us. We'd appreciate that. Turn on notifications if you want to be notified about when we have future content. So number 8. Who are the fastest readers? 911 victims. They went through 88 stories in 7 seconds. Oh my God. Nice. Very nice. This is non-PG. Not non-PG. No, I know. Yeah. It's not. So be careful. I can't read a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't read it. This is something best saved for after the impact, I think, almost, or a Talkin' Shop-A-Mania stream if we ever get another one, which we should, because we can all use it. All right. Well, thank you so much to Jesse Calynn. Again, congratulate Jesse if you haven't done so already. Jesse has been blessed with an arrival in her family, so that's awesome. Jesse is going to have a baby, so that's amazing news. So congrats to Jesse again and her husband. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. We are done, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. A lot of heavy stuff, unfortunately. Hopefully it won't be again. I don't really want to have to go through this again next week. I'm hoping that the rumors are wrong. I really don't want to get into that again, but it was things that I really had to say. So I'm glad you came out. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, don't forget to join us for Abby's tomorrow night. If you are a Bray Wyatt fan, make sure you join Jeff and Jody at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we will be back again on Thursday for Impact Wrestling like we normally are, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Impact Watch Along. And then right afterwards, we do a show called After the Impact, which we discuss everything. There's C Wrestling now.
There he is.
I don't know what was going on there. Congratulations, Jesse. Someone else you can bore to sleep with jokes. That may come in handy, though, Steve, because, you know, that's one of the things you want to do is you want to put that baby to sleep. So that may come in handy somewhere down the road. So, you know, that might be a good thing. That might be a good thing. First time the podcast, found it by accident. Well, we're glad you found it. I hope you'll be back, bonus baby. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. All right. So that's it. We're done. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your Monday as well. In whatever you may watch and whatever you choose to do for entertainment. As we always say, stay safe. Be kind to one another. And hopefully we will see you all on our next show, which is tomorrow night, 6:00 p.m. with Jeff and Jody for Abby's Window. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. If you haven't already done so, make sure you set your clocks, because if you haven't, then you've been late all day today. I hate this time of the year. I really, really do. I wish they'd get rid of it. I can't stand when it gets dark at 5 o'clock. But what are you going to do? That's the winter. So have a great night, guys, and hopefully we'll talk to you all again very soon. Good night, everyone.